want to say it started when I was around like 13, 14. I like to draw a lot, but I didn't really get serious about it until I was maybe like 18 or 19. I didn't really have a style. It's just something that I had in my head and put it down on paper. It wasn't like, oh, I was doing American traditional or I was doing this. But I feel now I do have a certain style with painting and drawing. Drawing, I mean, like I use different mediums, I do different styles. It's kind of what I feel.
Good evening and welcome to Art After Dark, where you get to learn all about arts and culture in West Texas, and I get to live out my Dick Cavett fantasy. Good evening, my name is Randy Ham. I have the privilege of serving as the executive director for Odessa Arts, and tonight we are continuing our examination of tattoo artist culture with our good friend, also from Sacrificial Needles in Odessa, the tattoo artist known as Dez. Dez, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we're going to start with the origin story. When and where? When did you start noticing tattoos, and where did you get your first tattoo?
So, my mom's ex-husband was actually a tattoo artist. He
Okay.
did tattoos at home. And that's where I kind of like my love for tattoos grew. He did a tattoo on my sister, but I didn't actually start getting into it until I want to say I was like 17. My sister bought a machine off of a tattoo artist that was retiring and she started tattooing me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, when did you start thinking about tattoos on your body versus actually doing it as a profession? Like that, oh, this is something I can do.
Yeah, so after I had gotten a couple tattoos from my sister, I started wanting to do more on myself. I was too scared to venture out and do other people, but I did start tattooing my legs. And I guess after working in like retail and stuff, I figured like it wasn't something I wanted to continue to do.
Okay. So you started thinking like, well, what am I good at? What is it? What is something that I'm good at doing that I like to do and would get up every day and want to do?
Yeah.
Right. So you enjoy getting up every day and going to the studio and working on people.
Yeah.
Um, what was it like the first time you did like a professional job and somebody paid you for a tattoo and and you saw them be very happy about the work that you had done on them?
Yeah, I mean it makes me feel good. It's nice to know that like I someone was able to trust me enough to do something very permanent on their body. It's a good feeling. It's a learning process.
Yeah, yeah. And you're also a visual artist as well. You paint or you draw.
Yes.
Okay, tell me a little bit about that. What got you into doing that kind of visual art?
So, in middle school, like I've always done art as an extracurriculum. I was really interested in it. I'm not sure why. I love doing it. It's like a nice hobby. And then that hobby turned into something more permanent.
Now, did you grow up here in the Permian Basin?
Yes, I did.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Odessa,
Oh,
Texas.
so all right. So
Yeah.
hometown girl,
Yeah.
great. That's awesome. So you are someone who was brought up here locally that is making your living in the arts.
Mhm.
So that is fantastic. People don't talk about that much. What is it that we talk about for Odessa? Oil and
Yeah.
football, right? But there is actually a thriving art community here, and you are a part of that community.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be a part of a community in a town that is not always recognized for its artistic contributions?
It feels unreal. I mean, to be able to get paid for something that I love doing is just, it's awesome.
You kind of feel like you're getting away with something, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, oh God, somebody's going to find out that I'm having fun, and then I'm going to have to go get a job where I don't like it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that way every single day. Somebody's going to come knock on my door and tell me that I have to go back to, retail or something. And I'm like, no, this is actually really fun and I enjoy doing it. And it's okay to get paid for doing what you love,
Yeah.
right? Because I think that's the other thing that artists have to combat is there tends to be an expectation that artists will work for free, right? You get musicians that are asked to play for free. You get visual artists that are asked to especially muralists are asked to do murals for free. I'm sure you get people asking for free tattoos, right?
Not often, but cheap
Okay, yeah,
tattoos.
yeah, yeah. The line that I always hear from people is like, "Well, if you do this and you donate your time, think of all of the exposure you're going to get,"
Mhm.
right? Well, you can die of exposure. So that's the line I always use. Everything is a skill set. Whether you're painting, whether you are singing, you are playing an instrument, you are doing tattoo work, that is a skill that you learned, and you should be compensated for your time and effort because it wasn't easy. I'm sure your first couple of tattoos were probably not the best, and
Yeah.
the more you do it, the better you get at it.
Yeah.
Um, when was the time that it kind of clicked that you were like, "Oh, I'm good at this. I should keep doing it."
I want to say last year, I feel like I started developing more. I started opening up to different styles and really like putting myself out there instead of being shy to do something and mess somebody up.
Yeah. So, um, which tattoo that you've done, do you have one that you're just extremely proud of that is like, wow, I did that?
Um, I have a few. It's kind of like I do feel like I did really good, but I always feel like there's room for improvement.
Oh yeah, there's always room for
Yeah,
improvement.
so like
And
I
we
should
are always our own worst critic,
yeah.
right? Do you keep like a photographic record or catalog of your work? Like when you're finished with somebody, do you like whip out your phone and snap it so that you can go back and look at stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you ever go back and pull those and say like and track your development as an artist? Like this was a tattoo from 3 years ago and this is one from last week. Look how different it is.
Yeah, I haven't like specifically done that, but I have noticed, I guess a little bit more recently where I first started out as to where I'm at now.
Do you did you apprentice under any other artists uh when you started out?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Uh what was what was it like apprenticing and learning from someone else?
So it was a bit different. My apprenticeship started out pretty good. I did feel like I was learning more American traditional. I was started out with the basics, and then as my apprenticeship passed on, I kind of felt like I wasn't learning what I should have been. So I did reach out to a different artist.
Okay. That's what I was going to ask. So you learned a specific style, but it wasn't the style you wanted to learn. You wanted to get better at a different style. So you actually picked out another artist that did more of what your aesthetic is and learn from them. Was it someone local? Did you do all of this locally or did you travel?
Yes, it was locally.
It was all it was all locally. Um, I know I was talking to Severe last week, and we were discussing how he, will open up his chair in his studio for traveling artists, or he would go and travel. Have you done any of that?
I have not specifically traveled as an artist. Not that I haven't reached out to shops, but I just haven't been traveling lately.
That sounds like a bucket list item to me. I think that's really good for your professional development, not just for the art that you're doing, but travel just broadens your mind to the world of possibilities that you have. And I love my community, and I love being in Odessa, but I'm very fortunate to have traveled and experienced things that I was able to bring back here. So I highly encourage you to travel. So let's talk a little bit about your visual art. So your painting and your drawing. When did that start, and what kind of style have you developed over the years?
So I want to say it started when I was around like 13, 14. I like to draw a lot, but I didn't really get serious about it until I was maybe like 18 or 19. I didn't really have a style It's just something that I had in my head and put it down on paper. It wasn't like, oh, I was doing American traditional or I was
Right.
doing this. But I feel now I do have a certain style with painting and drawing. Drawing, I mean, like I use different mediums, I do different styles. It's kind of what I feel.
Do you have a specific medium or style that is close to your heart, that is the one that just ignites your passion?
I love doing charcoal drawings and
Yeah.
realism. It's been my favorite so far, and I think that's what I'm trying to specialize in. But I do want to branch out and try different things.
Do you do you practice your art every day? Are you able to draw or paint every day? Or do you just do it when the mood strikes you?
Sometimes when the mood strikes me, I feel like if I force myself to do it, I kind of lose that passion. Like, oh, it feels more like a chore.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Okay. That brings me up another question that I always try to talk to artists about. If you work in the arts, and that's even true for the administrative side of it, every day you're working in the arts, and
Hmm.
that is fantastic. But the work that artists do provide comfort, relief, it's thought provoking, it's all of these things for other people,
Hmm.
right? It's when you go and you see a beautiful painting or you hear a piece of music that just touches your heart and it brings you some comfort and relief, right? But if you are an artist, what do you go to that gives you that comfort and relief that is not part of your everyday work?
Um, I listen to a lot of music and I read.
Okay. What do you like to read?
I like a lot of sci-fi
Do
fantasy
you?
books. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. What's a book that's made an impact on you?
Um, it's a book called Powerless.
Okay. All right. I used to be a librarian, so
Oh,
you just
really?
you just made me very, very happy, because that's all I do is, in my spare time, I read. I read constantly. I've worked in every single bookstore in the Permian Basin. I was a book buyer for a chain of bookstores, and so I love the power of words
Hmm.
and how they can paint a picture in your head, right? So, so Powerless, who wrote it? Do you remember?
Tara Lynn Childs.
Okay, I'm gonna put that on my to
Okay.
read list. Uh, how big is your to be read pile? That's another
Oh, I
question.
have a whole like thing in my notes. It's quite a lot.
Yeah, yeah. And you never read them quite in order, right? You're
No.
like, this is the book I'm going to read next, but then when it's time to read a new book, maybe inspiration strikes, and you're like, no, I want to read this one instead. And so you have something in your notes that's been there for like 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That happens to every reader. Um, have you always been a reader?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, what do you remember what book made an impact on you when you were younger that made you think, "Oh, I should always read?"
It's a dragon series. I can't remember what it's called. It's about these like little clay dragons that are being made by a tenant and they like come to life and it's just so like imaginary and you wouldn't think like a book like that would strike me to
Yeah.
want to keep reading, but it like kind of took me out of where I was at.
So, is there a correlation between the books that you read and the work that you paint and draw and use charcoal? Do you have sci-fi elements, fantasy elements in your work?
Not necessarily. I do paint and draw a lot of I guess neo-traditional, like a lot of color.
Okay.
So it's not really having anything to do with my books, kind of like separate.
Well, that's that's surprising because most people, pull inspiration from the things that they do in everyday life. But very interesting that you keep those things separate and they don't bleed over. Uh, because I know when I read a book, especially one that really touches me, I want to do something creative with that book. And it's really hard. Sometimes it's really hard to just read for the pleasure of reading. So I'm that's very good on you that you do that. And I've got a book recommendation for you. You need to read Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. All right, so put that in your note
Okay,
app.
okay, yeah, I don't have my
Put it
phone. You
no,
you
no,
have to
no,
tell me
that's
after.
okay. I'll tell you again and put it at the top of your list.
Okay, I will.
Uh, But yeah, it's an amazing book, and as a sci-fi reader, you're gonna really like it. Um, what else do you do? So you listen to music. Have you ever attempted to like play an instrument or sing or create
Um,
music at
I
all?
used to play piano, and then I was also in band and orchestra, so I did violin and I played percussion.
You played percussion?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you do marching band?
No.
Good for you. That was excruciating. I was in marching band and it was awful. I mean, I had a lot of fun, but man, you talk about some practice. It's hard enough to play the keys without having to figure out where my feet are going
Walk as
to.
you're going.
But do you ever still play the piano?
No, I don't have it anymore.
Oh, well, you can always, there's a piano right over here in our
Oh,
studio. You can come in and practice anytime you want. Uh, I really want to thank you for being on the show today. This has been really fun. I've enjoyed this. And we can find you at Sacrificial Needle as well.
yes.
Is your work for sale in
It
the?
is for
All right.
sale.
So if you're looking for a new piece of art and a new piece of body art, come see Des over at Sacrificial Needle. And I want to thank you for being on the show, and we will see everyone next week.